Welcome to Disruptive Capitalists, the show where purpose-driven entrepreneurs and bold investors share how they're reshaping the world by investing time and money in a way that improves lives and creates wealth. So let's get to it. Everyone, thank you for joining us today for another great episode of the Disruptive Capitalist podcast, where we talk about using your time, money, wealth to create a future that we all would enjoy and care about, and aligning our money with purpose. Today, my guest is Jaden Sterling, and Jaden is a man after my own heart, desires to make a difference in the world and improve access to wealth and wealth creation. Jaden is the inventor. We're going to talk about this stuff in a minute. But he has Empower Yourself Financially. The biggest hurdle investors face is a lack of confidence and education. He urges us that there is no better time than now to begin building wealth. Thank you for joining us, Jaden. Can you tell us a little bit more about yourself and tell us about your invention?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Sam. Pleasure to be here. My background is in finance, and it started early. At 14, I had an epiphany. I'll keep the story short. I don't know if you've ever had an epiphany, but it's like time stands still. And in that time, I just knew things very clearly. It's like it just dropped down into my soul, and I knew that I'd be talking on stages around the world. I'd be talking about money, and I would be from the perspective of helping people be empowered by it, not be enslaved by it. And lastly, I was told, or I knew, that I would be teaching from personal experience, not from a book I read or a course that I took. So, imagine like at 14, your whole life purpose downloaded to you, So I just followed it. I went to school at American University, studied finance. Right after that, went to work on Wall Street for 10 years, was an insider in the industry, and learned a lot about how the industry is set up. And it's basically, my learning was that the industry is set up to make money off of people, not for people. And it was my really wealthy clients who came into the brokerage firm with millions of dollars in literally a handful of stocks. Can you imagine that, Sam? Like, we're talking 35 years ago when $1 million was a lot of money back then. And, so they had like John Deere and IBM and these big names back then. And we were told to sell those individual stocks and buy them packaged products, like mutual funds and unit investment trusts and bonds, and because to diversify for safety.
Yeah.
And man, when I, the minute I kind of woke up to all this and said, if I had just kept my clients in their individual stocks instead of selling them, buying them a bunch of packaged product stuff with high fees, they would have been so far better off with their returns. And that opened my mind to, okay, I'm just going to do what my clients do. I bought one stock during the decade of the 90s. It happened to be the parent company of the firm I was working for. I was working for Citigroup, and it was Travelers Insurance that I bought. And it tripled during the 90s. So my 70,000 grew to just under $1 million. And it was just an incredible experience. I realized at 30 years old, wow, I don't have to be in this industry anymore. So stepped out of it and have been mentoring and coaching people in finance ever since.
That's fantastic. Just fantastic. Warren Buffett is all about buying good companies at a good price, right? And granted, he's lost a lot of money over the years. I mean, if you were to say, what did he lose? Over $500 million once, and it was just like,
yeah.
But he kept going and he kept sticking to his plan, and it's paid off, particularly in the last 10 years, where he's gone from just a small billionaire to a very large billionaire. So what do you do now? I mean, tell us about the AI tool you have.
Well, the AI tool is designed to help investors from novice to expert find winning stocks in 2 clicks. And that's what we set out to do 8 years ago. got together with my partners and we created software, and it's gone through many iterations. I mean, you can imagine from the beta, we beta tested it for 2.5 years to make sure that what we had was going to work for people.
Mm.
So we brought in a beta group after the 2 year period, tested it for 6 months with them. This is in addition to all the testing I did in the software each and every day, and started to see our numbers far outperform the indexes. And we believe in transparency. We actually publish our returns, our 30-day returns and 12-month returns. So we show how well our software is done over the indexes. And when we started clocking in at like 80 to 150% greater returns than the indexes, we said to ourselves, okay, we've got something here.
Yeah.
And then we just opened it up. So we're still growing. We set the platform up to be able to leverage, and so that it wouldn't impact the speed and functionality of our site. And so now we're sitting at 2,500 users, and we're thrilled that we have users now. We have a global platform. Users from all over the world are on it. So from the UK to Australia to Tokyo, got the Tokyo Exchange, Brazil Exchange. We're just all Germany is a big area for us as well. So it's been a really neat experience, and that's how I spend my time, is working in the platform. I live stream in there weekly, and I give investors updates on the equity markets, and I also share what I personally am buying, and to let people know and why I'm buying it. I give the thinking behind it. So I'll like pull up the stock chart and say, okay, this is what I'm looking at, and this is what's going on with the company, and this is the position I'm taking. And I want everyone to succeed at this, and there's no reason, especially, man, Sam, in this market, like there's no reason people shouldn't be crushing it right now with their finances in the best possible way. And yet, you still hear like the majority of Americans have less than $500 in savings, and it's like we have to disrupt that space. That's why I love your show, man, Disruptive Capitalism. It's like we have to disrupt that space and let people know, get out of the financial matrix, which is, focused on 401ks and IRAs, and nothing wrong with tax deferral, but they only offer mutual funds.
Yeah.
Like
It's like a
already
scam.
it is. It
Not to
is,
be rude, but it's like a giant scam. I mean,
man.
put
Yeah.
your money in
So,
this thing that it like does not do well because we
you
make
brought
fees.
up Warren Buffett. He said it best: diversification is the tax that people pay when they don't know what they're doing.
Hmm.
And when you look at 100 to 200 stocks in each mutual fund, it is way over diversified, and people don't have a chance at getting any decent returns out of them. And the market tells us, oh, don't settle for anything great for your returns. You just keep going average 7 or 8% a year. And it's like, would you tell your kid that? Would you look at your 7 or 8 year old kid and say, you know what, don't expect anything great out of life, just be average? Well, of course
Yeah.
not. You're like,
Yeah.
you'd be like, hey, you can do it. You can create anything that you want in life. And that's the intent here.
That's amazing. I it is time to disrupt the system. I mean, we've been working now on a personal success campaign, just because AI can do so many things. It's just if it can work with people and get to know them and become like Jarvis or something that really interacts with them and helps them create the future, the success that they want, we can do that now
Yeah.
because AI is at this place. AI can help you pick stocks based off of what you just commented, not the we want to make fees off of you, but we actually genuinely want you to succeed.
Yeah.
And when you come at it from that angle of, I genuinely want you to go from making 1,500 bucks a month to making 15,000 a month to making 150 grand a month. And if you want to make 1.5 million a month, you certainly can. There's a path to get there because other people have done it. You can too, if that's what you really, really want. And you need a system that gets you there. And when you program the system to get people there, like you have, like why settle for garbage so that I can make fees? How about you become really successful and I'll make my money?
Always been the plan. When as a young lad on my 18th birthday, I got the fortunate benefit to hear Zig Ziglar speak.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll never forget it. On bended knee, he said, "You help enough people get what they want, and you'll get what you want."
Yeah.
And Sam, it just always stuck with me. Like that's my core belief, my inner, that's what I draw from. And I believe it. And I've seen it enough in my life that it works. And so people, we have to help people break out of a system that is flawed. Let me step back. The industry is set up perfectly for people to make money in individual stocks. Like, it's how the elite pat each other's backs. It's how they line each other's pockets. It's why they're all on each other's boards of directors.
Yeah.
They're all paid in stock and they're there's now two companies that have a $4 trillion market cap. Like, you can't, this stuff is incredible what I've seen happen over the actually 37 years now that I've been involved in this industry.
$1 trillion is a lot of money,
And now you got
folks.
four trillion.
And see, I can't even fathom $1 billion. And you add 1,000 of those,
Oh, you had 1,000 of those,
4,000.
4,000. I mean, it just goes on, right? And it will continue. And yet the whole industry has everyone look over here, distracted in mutual funds and packaged products and managed money that is way too diversified. And they're over here buying one or two stocks, making a bloody killing. I mean, you can look at websites that have this, you look at Nancy Pelosi. I've just pulled up Nancy Pelosi's trades. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
It's just mind blowing that the majority of people are sold a lie and they continue to drink that up and they don't question it. So, we got to disrupt the space, man. We got to let people know that what they are told does not work. Hey, people should know that. They should look at their life anyway and their finances and go, yeah, you know what? What this guy's saying, there could be something to it because it's not working the way we're handling our finances. We got too much debt. We got paying too much in interest expense. And so we really help people look at all their finances as well. If they have too much in credit card or lines of credit or HELOCs or whatever, we get them to pay that stuff off because they'll never get a greater return than what they're paying in interest.
Right.
So if they start there, right, just chip away at that debt and then start investing some money in one or two stocks, and you don't have to start with a lot. We have fractionalized shares. You can buy one share of Google
Apple,
or whatever you want to
whatever.
buy. You don't have to buy or half a share. So it's manageable for people, and in the US, it's basically free. You can buy and sell stocks for nothing.
Hmm. I just want to add a disclaimer here because even when you follow the rules, you follow all the advice, like Warren Buffett, super, super successful, still lost a ton of money, made it all back and more because he stayed in and he kept trying. You can follow the best advice of the best people and still lose money. It doesn't mean it's wrong or crooked or anything else like that. It's just there is risk in the market. So I just want to add that disclaimer out there. That
And
being said, there's a better way.
there's risk in the market, and the only way to profit is by taking some measure of risk.
That's right.
I mean, like, really, if you play your life so close to aligned with being fearful or nervous about stepping out, like, you'll never cross that street, you'll never ask that girl out, you'll never do things that will affect your life in the most positive way, right? Like,
Right.
and when you start to work with the mindset of, like I teach my students and all of our members in our platform, minimum 30%. When you buy shares of a stock, that is the goal that you're shooting for, 30%. And people are like, what? What are you talking about? I'm like, yeah, it's that simple. Once you start to, like, open your consciousness up, disrupt the mindset of small returns or no returns or negative returns. A lot of people are really, their mindset is around that too, of, oh no, risk equals losing money. And the reality is we learn to take a calculated risk. And that's what our software does. It calculates the risk that is involved with companies, and every company has a score. We call it a beta. That's a level of risk that a stock incurs. So people can go in and go, all right, I'm adverse to risk, no problem. We'll show you companies that are poised to grow in value, but still are low risk. And so that you don't have to worry about the big fluctuations if you're not comfortable with that. So I think we've set the platform up in a way that will accommodate all levels. I know we have all levels of risk, whether you're a low risk taker or aggressive. We have a lot of investors who are aggressive, like entrepreneurs, business owners, people of that nature. And we're like, yeah, let's rock and roll. Like, the platform isn't going to show people all the aggressive stocks that are, can potentially have these big fluctuations if they're low risk. Like it's intuitive and smart enough to know through our algorithms and AI that we're going to be selective in terms of what stocks we show you.
I love that AI is at a place now where it can do the engineering for you. It can do the math and it can measure beta. And in terms of terminology for the listeners, when you're looking for a return, that's your alpha. So you're in seek of alpha, making money or making a return. You're avoiding beta, which is your risk. And in stock world, they talk about that all the time. In investing, they talk about that all the time. Not as much in real estate, probably because there's a whole lot of novices in real estate that just aren't really trained on investment. But it's interesting. You talk a lot about mindset. One thing that I've been really surprised at and interested at is that if people lose money in stocks, they get frustrated and they'll pull out. If they lose money in real estate, which can also happen, even though it's a hard asset, it doesn't mean you're more protected. It just is a hard asset. If they lose money in real estate, they sue. And I think it's kind of like an interesting thing because they feel like when we invest and we lose money in stocks, we kind of expect it because so many people lose money all the time. And we lose money in real estate. In our mindsets, we think that can't possibly have happened without fraud or something going wrong. And I just think in the world of mindsets, all these things that we have to disrupt is as an investor mindset is, okay, we got bit, we found beta. How do we minimize that risk now, go back into the marketplace and get after alpha? We learned a hard lesson. How do we get after alpha? So Jaden, how have you built in the lessons that you've learned through your long career into AI so that people don't have to learn those same lessons?
Yeah, man, it's a great question. And I first want to go back to that. You made a great analogy with real estate, and real estate's set up slightly. People are looking for cap rates, but with the industry, with the E&O insurance, errors and omissions, there's some level of, as an investor going into that space, whether it's commercial, residential. I had a huge commercial multifamily real estate portfolio when I got out of the brokerage industry because I wanted to see, well, let's put this money to good use. So I built an affordable housing portfolio.
Yeah, beautiful.
With the city of St. Petersburg, Florida. I did 125, had 125 units, and it was awesome. It was a great experience and learned a ton because I knew I had to increase my learning around finances. So that helped me get there and working with lenders. So I took that level of experience and you're absolutely right. With stocks, we've got this beta calculation. And what we did is we created in our software what we call the portfolio assistant. And it's all pretty much AI driven, along with our algorithms behind the scenes, crunching the numbers. And because we're looking at the fundamentals of a company, are the insiders buying or selling? We're looking at the financials. What's the financial health of a company? Do they have levered free cash flow, or are they just swimming in debt? We're also looking at the technical metrics. We're looking at the charts and, is the company share price above the moving averages or is it below? So after we look at all that and we calculate and give a score, our 4 and 5 star stocks are buy rated stocks. 4 is like a buy rating. 5 is our highest rating, which is a strong buy. So our portfolio assistant is looking at someone's going to input their level of risk after they take a quick, short 13 questionnaire thing. It calculates their level of risk, and then they're going to input how much cash they have to invest. And from there, the portfolio assistant will curate a portfolio of 4 and 5 stars stocks based on their level of risk and no more than 8 companies. So we know enough that we know what industries are moving, which are really performing. We look at the previous 30 days. Obviously, technology is crushing it, has been for a long time. Biotech as well has performed really well, healthcare. So we stay within spaces that are going to continue to perform for folks. And that's how we address that issue. And that's how I've taken all the years of my knowledge to know what's worked. Because this software, it's interesting. This software we invented because of a course that I had called a Money Mentor program, where I mentored students in North America and worked with them for 6 months, helping them learn how to invest. And then that course extended to a year. Like we realized, okay, it's going to take a year with these folks for me to input and share all the information I had. So from there, one of my students was like, back in 2016, she's like, I love your course. Could you make software out of it?
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. That's a great question.
Yeah.
And that's what we ended up doing, because I had my students go, okay, go to this site and there's the price to earnings ratio over there. And then come over here and see what the insiders are doing. And we're like, forget it. Let's just put it all in one place.
Yeah. It's just amazing when smart, good people put their brains and put together and build software that helps humans.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. It's really, really fantastic. And I think for all of us who have sought to, improve our lives, you think about like books that you read. I got Good to Great, or How to Build, or Building an Elite Organization. These books were written for you to help learn how to or how to become that, or to improve your lives. Plenty of books are like that. Plenty of books are a waste of time, and they were just written for the author to try and make some money.
Yeah.
Which it comes back to the very, very beginning. Disruptive capitalism is about creating a system that we're proud of. It's about doing things that improve people's lives, and then we make money. Bring value to, like Zig Ziglar said to you, create as much value as you possibly can for as many people as you can, and then you will get all your dreams will come true. Do that first. It's about value. It's about helping people. It's about making a difference. Jaden, I've really enjoyed our conversation.
Me too.
How can people hearing this should go check out your, I was going to say stock picker, but it's more than just a stock picker, much more. So how do they find out more about that, and where do they go to find you?
Yeah, so Sterling, like Sterling Silver, stockpicker.com is where we're located, sterlingstockpicker.com. And just go there. All of our socials are there, and information about myself is there, and they can connect with me through the website for sure.
Fantastic. Jaden, thank you for being on the show. Folks, that'll be in the show notes. sterlingstockpicker.com. Go check it out. He's also got a YouTube channel. You can go watch it in live action. And Jaden, thank you for being on the show.
Thanks for having me, Sam. I enjoyed it.
If this episode shifted your thinking, then share it with someone bold. And remember, capital is a tool. Use it to build a world you are proud to live in.